Hello students, this is Mrs. Johnston and today we are making something for breakfast. Aubrey and I are making French toast. So this is one of the recipes that you requested that I show you how to make, and it kind of ties in with the next two units that we are learning, which is units about fat and about protein, because you need both of those ingredients to make good French toast. Here's what we're going to be mixing together. A half teaspoon of cinnamon, a fourth teaspoon of nutmeg, a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to put that into this small bowl, and then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in our saucepan on the stove and get that warmed up. And then while that's warming up, we'll mix 2 eggs, a fourth teaspoon of vanilla, and then a 1/4 cup of milk, half and half, whipping cream or heavy whipping cream. We're going to talk about the differences in these in just a bit. We're going to need some bread. This is what we've got on the plate right here, and some eggs. And that's all we have to do is just mix those things together. Now, we'll go through this step by step, but before you do any cooking in the kitchen, you want to make sure you wash your hands, tie your hair back, and put on an apron. So I'm going to wash my hands real fast. All right, now, I mentioned that there are 4 different possible liquids that we could use in our in our French toast recipe. So I want to quickly go through what the differences are between these, because this ties in with our unit on fats. So fats are compounds in foods that have long chains, that have lots of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen all in these long chains, and they are what makes food tender. They're also what makes food very flavorful. That's why a juicy steak tastes so much better than a dried out steak. It's because of the flavor that fat contributes to the steak. Fats can also be used as cooking medium. So we are putting butter in the skillet and heating up the butter, and the butter is going to help to cook and brown our toast. You can deep fry things in fat. So when you get deep fried French fries or fried chicken nuggets at McDonald's that taste so good, it's partly because they've been cooked in fat. And then fats are also something that can be used to aerate or fluff up baked goods or products. So fats are what makes the scrambled eggs that you make so fluffy. Fats can also be what make whipped cream that you put on top of your, like sundae at the, when you're making a sundae at home, so nice and fluffy. So these dairy products have different amounts of fat, different percentages of fat. And as such, we can use them for different things. So whole milk has 3.5% fat. Half and half is half whole milk and half cream. It has 12% fat. The whipping cream that I have right here is 35% fat. So 3 times the amount of fat that's in half and half is in whipping cream, and heavy whipping cream is 38%. Now there's also a product that I couldn't find at the grocery store. It's called light cream, and light cream would be somewhere right here. Light cream has about 18 to 20% fat. So that's a product that's missing, but these are 4 dairy products with different amounts of fat. Now butter, which is what we're going to be cooking with on the skillet, is 99% fat. It is almost all 100% fat. Now, when we look at these different dairy products, we're going to be able to use them for different things. Something like whole milk, you're going to put that on cereal. You're going to drink whole milk. You can use whole milk to make, salad dressings. You can use whole milk to make, lots of different products, but it's very, very light in terms of fat content. Half and half is usually used in coffee. This is what a lot of people put in their coffee in the morning. Half and half can also be added to eggs when you scramble them to make them extra creamy. This is what we put into our eggs when we make scrambled eggs. Now, these 2 products are high enough in fat that you can actually use them to make whipped cream. And you're also going to be using these products in things like soups, like cream-based soups. So think creamy chicken wild rice soup. Think, creamy potato soup, where you're using a cream base in your soup. These are going to hold up much better in higher temperatures because they're going to be less susceptible to what we call curdling. Milk, when you heat it up, what it tends to do is it tends to curdle. It tends to separate. You get this skim on top of the milk, this skin of like the protein that has coagulated. These products are not going to do that when you heat them up. They're going to be much more stable. So when you're making a soup, you definitely want to use the higher fat dairy products. This would be great for just drinking. This would be great for putting in milkshakes. This would be great for doing these kinds of things. And then this is something that you can kind of go a little step up from milk if you want something that's a little bit creamier. But half and half is not going to be creamy enough that you can like make it into whipped cream and things like that. All right. So for today, for your French toast, Aubrey, which product would you like? Would you like milk, half and half, whipping cream, or heavy whipping cream as your dairy product in your French toast?
I think I'll take some.
It's a tough choice. But you can't go wrong. They're all good choices.
Some half and half.
You want some half and half. Okay, so we're going to set these other guys aside. Okay, so today what we're going to do is start by mixing up our dry ingredients. So that means we're going to put our half teaspoon of cinnamon. Right here. We're going to put our tablespoon of sugar. Okay, so we're going to just kind of level off our sugar here with a knife. Tablespoon of sugar. All right, and then we're going to add some nutmeg. Now, I don't have ground nutmeg, so what I'm going to have to do here is take an actual like nutmeg nut and just grind up a little bit of it. You can buy nutmeg at the store and simplify the process by just measuring out 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. There. You can also save a bunch of time and just buy pumpkin pie spice and just put pumpkin pie spice in your French toast, because guess what is in pumpkin pie spice, Aubrey?
Nutmeg.
And cinnamon. Those are the two things in pumpkin pie spice. So you can just save time and get that if you want to. All right, so we're just gonna swish that around, set it aside, and it's ready to go. Now it's time for our liquid ingredients. So we're gonna crack 2 eggs, and then we are going to add your half and half. All right, so we're gonna compost our eggshells. And now it's time to get our vanilla and our half and half. So we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. And our half and half, we are going to use, do you remember how much, Aubrey? 1/4 of a cup.
1/4 of a cup.
Mm-hmm. Bueno. Okay, so 1/4 cup of half and half going in with the eggs. All right, now all we need to do is take a fork and whisk this stuff together. So all we're trying to do here is just to break up the eggs and aerate them a little bit. So we're stirring some air into this mixture of egg and half and half. And you can see there's some air bubbles, some foam that's forming there. That's what we want to see. And now we're going to dump in our spices and our sugar all at once.
It looks kind of like some soup raw.
Looks kind of like soup. Yeah, it's basically you're starting with scrambled eggs and making them sweet. So you're adding the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the sugar, and the vanilla. You're making this kind of sweetened mixture. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick our bread in here, and this is we're using Texas toast for our bread. All right, so we're going to get this bread soaking on both sides, and while that happens, we are going to turn our skillet on, and we're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter. We're just going to kind of eyeball the 2 tablespoons here. And we're going to set this in the skillet and start melting it. Now, in this instance, the fat is not being used to aerate or fluff or add flavor. the fat is being used to help the French toast to cook without sticking to the bottom of the pan. Because another thing that fats can do is they can lubricate things. They can help keep things from sticking. All right, so we've got our first piece of toast soaking here. All right. And as soon as the skillet is ready, we're going to cook this. All right, so can you go ahead and just pause it, Aubrey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our skillet is ready. We're going to go ahead and slide our first piece of toast that we've soaked into the skillet. All right, and we're going to get toast number 2 soaking in the bowl. So our goal on this is to get both sides of the toast to be a golden brown color. So you can hear and see that the toast is cooking over here. So Aubrey, if you want to come a little closer and kind of show them what's going on in the skillet. All right. Now you notice I don't have my skillet turned all the way up to high because I don't want to burn the toast. So
it looks delicious.
So what's happening right now is our melted butter is serving as a cooking medium. So the butter can get really, really hot, can sustain some pretty high temperatures. So it's going to help to cook the toast. It's also going to add a little bit of flavor to the toast. It's going to add a buttery flavor to the toast. Okay, so you just want to check it every now and then because you don't want to burn your toast. You just want it to be kind of golden brown. So this side's not ready yet. It needs to cook a little longer. It can be tricky when you got all this cinnamon that you have in your bread to tell when your toast is ready or not. How's it smell, Aub?
Smells delicious.
Yeah. Have you ever had French toast, Aubrey?
No.
No. So this is Aubrey's first time having French toast since she's 7 years old. So she's going to be excited to see what this tastes like. Now, you don't have to use Texas toast bread when you make French toast. You can just use regular bread. It works out just fine. If you want something that's a little fluffier, you can go and get a type of bread called brioche. And brioche bread is made with a lot of butter, and it's very light and very fluffy. So you can use that. But you want to have some kind of bread that's going to at least kind of like hold up a little bit to what you're going to put in it, which is this egg and dairy mixture.
My tummy's grumbling at the smell of food.
All right, so again, what we're trying to do here is cook both sides. Remember, you are working with eggs. So the eggs are going to coagulate a little bit. So as you can see right here, this white stuff on the outside, it's actually the cooked egg. So it's just like if you were scrambling eggs, you're going to see that egg cooking. All right, so we're going to check back in just a little bit when this is all done. Okay, so the French toast piece that we started cooking first is back here, and it is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the skillet. Aubrey, got your plate here? All right. So Aubrey is going to get her first piece of French toast. Okay, the second piece you can see it's kind of getting there. It's got a little bit more cooking to do. We're going to go ahead and flip it over to the other side. That's the kind of brownness that you want to see.
Looks like that side's ready.
Yep. All right, so Aubrey, come on over. Let's get your reaction to your first bite of French toast. Okay, you eat it with a fork and a knife, honey. That's very gooey, yes.
I don't think I could eat it with my fingers.
No, you don't eat it with your fingers like a piece of toast out of the toaster. You eat it with a fork and a knife. What do you think?
Hot but delicious.
Hot but delicious? Does it need some maple syrup on it? No? No?
Good enough.
All right, very good. All right, so that's how you make French toast. If you want another shot of the recipe, here it is right here. It's very, very easy. You can have it ready to go in about 15 minutes. All right, have fun. We'll see you guys later. Oh, by the way, we left the heavy whipping cream out here on the counter. We're going to let that get a little bit warmer. Later on, we're going to show you how to make whipped cream and butter with that.